the content. Welcome to Home Biz Tax Talk. My name is Lysandra Everett. I am the Home Biz Tax Lady, where I help home business owners win the tax game. Home Biz Tax Talk airs Monday through Friday, 9 o'clock-ish. And when you tune into my show, you're going to hear about topics that are important to the home business community. And even though today's topic is not a home business topic, it's a tax topic that I think people really need to pay attention to. I will warn you now that I'm probably going to get some hate mail. I'm probably going to get some angry comments, and I'm probably going to lose some viewers, but I'd much rather lose the popularity contest and come from truth than to say, whisper sweet nothings in your ear, okay? Wounds from a friend can be trusted, okay? Remember that. Okay, so I was in a debate over the weekend, and there was an article that was shared talking about how Walmart is making checkout lines obsolete. They are really trying to keep up with Amazon Scan and Go, okay? And I also read an article where Walmart is also in about 100 stores, they have shelf scanning robots. These are robots that go up and down the aisle. They scan the shelves to see if shelves need to be restocked so that they can do that. And it's supposed to be a way to complement workers, not to replace workers, these shelf scanning robots. So then the issue is that people are going to be losing their jobs. Okay. And if you've been on my broadcast for a while, you've heard me talk about this whole trickle down economics thing. Okay. And I said it 6 months ago, and I'm saying it again. Trickle down economics does not work. All right. So here we are. What is trickle down economics? How is this supposed to work? Well, with our tax reform, the corporate tax rate was cut from a top 35% down to a flat 21%. Okay. So that was a huge tax cut for large corporations. And the theory was that if you reduce the taxes, that's going to free up more money for the corporations in order for them to hire more workers and create more jobs. Okay, but we tried this with President Reagan. It didn't work with President Reagan then, okay? But what happened with that? During the same amount of time, and I forgot the measurement of time, but the top 1%, their income increased 300%. Okay. The top 3%, their income increased 80%. Everybody else overall was an increase of 6% in their income. Okay. 300%, 80%, 6%. We got 3 digits, 2 digits, 1 little low digit for income increase. Okay. So we have already tried this and it did not work. So here we are yet again. So what happens is that you get corporations, you give them the tax cuts, okay? And that does free up more money, but it doesn't go to job creation. It goes to innovation. You will either innovate or die. You will grow or die. If Walmart doesn't keep up with Amazon will take, okay, we already know Amazon taking over. Can we just admit that Amazon is taking over? Can we admit that? Okay. Because Amazon started out with books. Now you can get just about anything you want off of Amazon. Books, food, toys. Why is Toys R Us out of business right now? Because they did not innovate. And they let Amazon handle the delivery of their toys instead of doing their own stuff. Okay. And so now Toys R Us is out of here. They did not innovate. They did not check their pricing and they died. All right. That's just the way it is. So now, like I said, here we are again. So here's the things that you have to know. That even with all these fabulous tax cuts that came for these corporations, the government cannot tell corporations how to spend their money. You can't tell them. You can raise the minimum wage to $15, but you can't make a corporation or an employer hire more people at $15 an hour. You can't make them do it. You can't tell them how to run their business. Okay. You can, and I guess the thing about it is that we have to realize if you look over the course of history, we have consistently automated people out of jobs. Okay. Let's go back and let me give you some examples. Okay. So back in, 1800s, we had horse-drawn carriages, right? So we had people who made the wagons. We had people that made wagon wheels. You had people that made, the harnesses for the horses. You had people that made all of those things. Well, then came along the car. So now we can get somewhere hecka faster than with the horse-drawn carriage. So a ride to town might have taken 2 days with the horse-drawn carriage, but it's going to take you, an hour in a car. All right. So we have then automated somebody out of a job because then there was less need for the horse-drawn carriage. There was less of a need for the wagon wheel maker. There was less of a need for the harness for the horses. Okay. And so even then with the cars, you had people assembling cars by hand. What did we do? We then made machines to do the jobs of the people whose hands were putting together the nuts and bolts and all of that. There are machines that do that. Let's look at our phone calls. Way back in the day when we first started with telephones, right? We had operators. Okay, that connected all of those calls. You could call the operator and you could say, hey, I need such and such number, and the operator had to connect you. Okay, well now with all of the innovation in our telecom systems, we don't need operators. We have programs and machines to connect our calls. And now we've even innovated that further to where you've got voice over internet protocol. So that regular landline is now obsolete. So we're always automating people out of a job, even in the transportation industry. Okay, we had trains. You took the train across the United States. Well, then planes took over. So instead of you can still take a train. You can. But what do most people do? Instead of spending a week on a train going across the country, you hop on a plane, spend a good 4 or 5 hours, and you're on the other side of the United States, right? So the point is that we've always innovated. We've always automated things and people out of jobs. It's going to continue to happen. I don't care what people say. And history has continued to prove that it's going to happen. And so now what we have to do is stay ahead of the automation. We have to do that. Even in my industry. Okay, the home tax programs, the TurboTax, the H&R Block home tax programs, it put a lot of tax professionals out of work because before there were these programs, people had to do taxes by hand. And let me tell you something. I've done a tax return by hand. I don't know how they did this stuff. It was crazy. It's crazy. Okay. But now, because they have these tax programs, people need fewer and fewer tax professionals to just punch in numbers. Okay. The more complex of a return you have, you need somebody with some expertise. But just to, tip tap some numbers in, you can do that on your own. So a lot of those people that were just punching those numbers in, they went away. You either innovate, you grow, or you die. And so now here we are again, and you're going to see this type of thing continue to happen. Okay. It's already happening. You go to your local, shops. You can order by apps. You can order with the little kiosks and stuff. If you've got kiosks taking orders, that's a person who does not have a job. So if your job can be eventually replaced by a bunch of if-then statements, then you either grow or you die. Your job goes away. And see, people don't want to hear that, but I'm going to be the one to tell you this is the thing that you need to hear. So as long as you are, employed, you have to continue to grow. You have to continue to educate yourself. You have to continue to innovate, increase your value to the marketplace, or then your job goes away. The thing to not do is to complain about how unfair it is, because at the end of the day, you as an employee do not control the decisions a corporation makes. The only business you control is your own. And so, yeah, there are going to be lots of people who lose their jobs. We can't control that. You can try boycotting all you want. You can do all of those things. But if in that process, you don't increase your personal value, I'm telling you, it's going to be ugly. People are going to be losing their jobs. And nobody wants to hear that, but that's okay. Because I'm going to say it. It's not pretty. It's going to be tough. So this is what I'm saying. So while you still have a job, pay attention to what's going on in your industry. If you're in the retail industry, pay attention to what's going on, whatever industry you're in, because the innovation isn't going away. It's just not. So, like I said, the government can't tell corporations how to spend their money. Even we had the carrier deal way back at the end of 2016. Those jobs that were going away still went away because those corporate executives said that all the tax cuts in the world doesn't beat the rate that they get in Mexico for labor. So you can't make a corporation stay in the United States. You can't. So, so you can take it for what it's worth, and you can, and so let's see, Aaron said, what's the point? The point is innovate or die. Innovate, meaning you grow your personal value or watch your job go away. Because even, like I said, even for me as a tax professional, if I don't grow in my industry, then I'm going to reach a point where I become obsolete. I'm not trying to be obsolete. And that's where you have to be, in the mindset of what do I need to do to not become obsolete? Because we look at the innovation, right? Like who has desktops? Right? Like we do have them, but really you can do just about everything you can do on your desktop on a phone. Just about. Like I like a bigger screen, right? But for the most part, I can send my emails. I can draft a document. I can do all of that stuff on my phone. So the innovation is happening in all of the industries. Okay? So, like that's the point of this, like to really let you know, like the things that are happening and understand, like everybody was so excited, like, oh my gosh, these tax cuts and everything. And it's going to create more jobs. If you knew the history of the tax cuts in the Reagan era, you knew it didn't work then. And I promise you, it's not going to work now. Will there be some industries? Now, don't get me wrong. Will there be some industries where there is growth? Absolutely. Because you look at like the construction industry. If in the construction industry, you can now buy more machines, whether it's bulldozers or, rollers or whatever, that you make new roads and stuff with, right? That's the extent of my construction knowledge. But if you can buy more machinery, then you got to hire somebody to operate that machine. So in some industries, there might be growth. But if, like I said, if your job can be written out by a bunch of computer statements, then you need to be prepared. Instead of talking about how unfair it is, go be prepared so that you don't become obsolete. Okay? So like I said, it's going to be an unpopular opinion and people are going to be angry. The last time I talked about this subject, people were angry. I got lots of hate mail. But I really hope that in your hate mail, that you listen to this and really take it to heart and take a hard look at where you stand in your industry. and be honest with yourself. And that way you can make better decisions about what to do going forward and be prepared. Okay. So I really hope that this was informative for you, that this, is kind of some eye-opening stuff to, to what's really going on. I really hope it is. Okay. So listen, that's it for me for today's episode of Home Biz Tax Talk. Again, we air Monday through Friday, 9 o'clock-ish, and you can come here to get your questions answered about your home business taxes. All right. Have a great day, and I'll see y'all next time. Bye.